So, Minecraft Live happened earlier today at TwitchCon, and Mojang made several announcements about what they will be adding in the next vanilla game drop this fall. In this video, I will give you my opinions about what they confirmed, what they probably will add, and what I think they should add, but may not. So anyways, let's get straight into this video. First, I am going to talk about what was confirmed at Minecraft Live earlier today by Mojang. If you did not watch Minecraft Live, I strongly suggest you watch Minecraft Live before you watch that video so you aren't completely surprised by the new features, and also I will not be showing any screenshots or clips or videos from Minecraft Live in this video. So again, you should definitely go watch the regular Minecraft Live first and come back to this video later. So, the part of the update they revealed earlier today in Minecraft Live had to do with the Dappled Forest, which is a new biome coming to the game. One of the main parts of that biome will be the poplar trees, which are a new tree type coming to Minecraft with a new wood set, which will be a whitish gray from what I saw, and it will have several different leaf covers ranging from red to orange to yellow, maybe even a blue and green color as well. So that will be pretty cool. There will be some variation with that. We're also adding abandoned campsites, which will add wool stairs to the game, which will be very useful in the building community in Minecraft, as millions of people like to build in Minecraft simply. And also, it's going to have some crafting tables as a farmland and some barrels around it. It's going to be pretty cool. Some of them will be mostly completed, others will have a lot more cobwebs. You could even build your own tents as well. There will also be some other minor features such as atmospheric and ambient effects. And there will also be some red bushes added to the game to add some variation, and those will be completely different from regular bushes because they will not change color when you put them in a different biome. And we will likely see more revealed over the next few months, especially during the summer and the upcoming Minecraft Live this fall. First, I'm going to talk about some things that I would really like to see added in this update, and I think Mojang will consider adding a lot of these, and they may even add some of these features to the game. So anyways, let's start with the mobs. So, as I just said, there are a couple of mobs that I think would make a great addition to this update, and I think a lot of players would enjoy if these were added to the update and the main game. So first of all, we have a squirrel. The squirrel would be a new mob that would just hang around in the Dappled Forest, but could also spawn in the oak forest, the birch forest, and the jungle biomes. It could be tamed using some nuts, which I'll talk about in a couple of minutes as well. And once you tame them, you could use name tags on them, and you could even have them follow you around. It would be like having a cat or a dog, and it would add a new option for pets in the game, since the number of pets you can have as like variations of different animals is kind of limited right now. And they will also climb trees sometimes like squirrels do in real life, and they could occasionally go out to bird feeders, which we'll also talk about in a minute or two, and steal some food from them. And they would also make squeaking noises every once in a while, or if you hit them, it will also make a squeaking noise and run away to discourage people from actually harming squirrels in real life. Obviously, that's kind of what Minecraft's been doing over the past few years. Another animal I'd love to see added to the game as a mob would be some birds, such as like a woodpecker, a blue jay, and even more birds, like a few variations, about 3 to 5. We could add a lot of ambience and activity to the environment by flying around. They would make some bird noises. You could even tame them by giving them seeds, or you could even make a bird feeder, which again I said I would talk about in a minute, and they could even like eat food from a bird feeder. They could land on trees. Occasionally they could even land on your shoulder, and having some variation would be nice. They could spawn in all sorts of biomes, and the parrot's already a bird, so why not have more? They would spawn in the Dappled Forest. We could have birds in the oak forest, the birch forest, the jungle biomes, the acacia forest, even more wood-related biomes, forest-related biomes, and even other biomes like the plains, even like cold biomes like the ice spikes biome, mountain biomes. That would be a nice addition to those as well. Now I'm going to talk about a few items that I would really like if they were added to this update, and I think a lot of players would support my decision on these too if they were added to the update. So first of all, we obviously have nuts. If squirrels are added to the game, nuts would be an obvious choice to add. As I said earlier, they would be used to tame squirrels, which would be a nice feature to have more pets in the game. They would grow on trees like the new poplar trees, which would grow on the dappled forest biome. They could also grow on jungle trees and oak trees and birch trees as well, and there would be some variation in the color depending on which biome it spawns in. Like warm biomes would have a different color, the temperate biomes and cold biomes would all have different colors. You could also use them as a food source to eat. They won't be very good. They'd be similar to eating an apple. Not much hunger, regeneration, or saturation, but before eating them, you would have to use an axe on them to remove the hard shell of them. Otherwise, it would cause you to take a little damage, or it would take the shell off occasionally. And they could also be put in like bird feeders, which I will talk about in a second, and that would be a great addition to the game to have some more food to tame pets and other stuff. And then bird feeders, obviously, that would be a great addition to this update. They would mainly be for putting food in like seeds and nuts and other food you want to, such as maybe like apples. It would sort of be like a composter, but it would be smaller. It would be crafted with 7 wooden planks and kind of an upside down U shape, along with a fence in the bottom center and a glass block in the middle, and it would give you a nice little bird feeder which would have a little like stand on it so birds can land on it and eat food out of, and occasionally squirrels would even come up to it, you steal food out of it, and you would have to replenish it often, otherwise it would get empty and birds wouldn't land on it. But it would be a pretty cool addition to the game. And also, they did advertise some potentially new mushroom types in the dappled forest, which could be added to other biomes as well. So why not add some more mushroom like stew related things, like for different mushrooms, like you could have a red mushroom stew, a brown mushroom stew, gray mushroom stew, whatever. That would be a pretty cool addition to have them separated to food sources. Some of them could give you maybe different effects. They could give you like different saturation levels and health regeneration levels, and that would be a pretty cool addition to the game as well. Next, I'm going to discuss a couple of blocks that I think would be a great addition in this update, especially if the forest theme, if that really is the theme. So first of all, obviously we will have the wool stairs in the new abandoned campsites, and I think a great addition with wool stairs would be wool slabs. They could be used for making raised up carpets, they could be used in making bridges with wool, they could be used in more subtle roofing, and it would be another great addition for a building community. It could also be used for other stuff in the tents to make some of the tents like have a more standing out roof, while others have a more subtle and bigger roof. That could be a great addition to the game. Another one would be packed leaf blocks. With 9 leaf blocks of your choice, you could basically craft a pack leaf block which would be denser, and it could be useful in making more dense bushes. You could even add like berries to it to make like a berry bush, and that would be very, very cool if they added that to the game, as it would give players a new block to experiment with. You could also add glow berries to it to give it a different color, and I think that would be pretty cool as well. Yeah. Next, another feature I think that Mojang should consider adding to the game, I think it would be a very, very, very cool feature for this update, is we already have the abandoned campsites, so why not have villager campsites? It would add a new village option with a new villager skin, and unlike normal villages which are generally all connected to each other, well, these would still in some ways be connected to each other. With paths cut through the forest, it would kind of be more scattered out, and the villagers would live in the tents, and it would be pretty cool because it wouldn't look abandoned anymore. It would be like the current equivalent. There would be beds in their chests, there would be Barrels probably, actually, and it will also have crafting tables where it'd be little farms on some of them, and it would be a pretty cool addition. They could even add a lantern, there could even still be a town center near the middle of the village wherever that was, and I think this would be a pretty cool addition to the update as well. Now I'm going to talk about some things that Mojang may consider adding to this update, but may be more cautious to think about adding or adding to the update just because of some real life issues with these things, or just some things that don't make sense about them. One feature that I think could go really well with this update in the game would be deer. Deer would spawn not only in the dappled forest, but in oak forest and birch forest, and it would be a pretty cool mob. They could make noises every once in a while, but they wouldn't really do much. You couldn't ride them, they would just wander around, but occasionally you would see them shake off their antlers, and that leads us into the next feature I think Mojang should maybe add, but they may not. And it would be fun if they didn't add this, but deer antlers would be a pretty cool feature. When deer shake off their antlers, they could sometimes drop the antlers, or likely drop the antlers, and there could be some cool item or two crafted with it, but the most common use are probably just hanging it on a wall, in an item frame, or just hanging it directly on the wall. That'd be a pretty cool feature just to show you have some deer antlers, and I think that'd be a pretty cool feature. Why I think Mojang might be hesitant to do this: deer are kind of hunted a lot in the real world, and they probably won't want people hunting them in Minecraft, so they might not add them to the game, but still it'd be a pretty cool feature. Another feature I think they could add to the game, but probably won't, are like wool walls and wool fences. Obviously, this would be cool, but again, there's already a ton of fences and walls, and I don't think we really need colored fences and walls right now, and if we did, concrete or terracotta would really make more sense. Wool walls and fences just don't make sense right now, if you really think about it. Anyways, that is the end of this video. If you think some of these ideas should make it into the main update, comment them down below, and if you have any more ideas on what you think Mojang should add in this update, also comment them below, and I will read some of your suggestions and maybe talk about them in a future video. But anyways, that's the end of today's video. Goodbye!